They left me out of the family vacation for the 4th time, so I booked my own trip, posted the photos online, and watched the group chat explode. We just landed. No heads up. No invite. Not even a fake, "Hey, are you free next week?" They were already on vacation. Again. Without me. And this wasn't the first time. Or the second. Or even the third. Nope. This was time number 4. My name's Josh. I'm the youngest sibling. 2 older sisters, Rachel and Michelle, both of whom have been running the show since before I could spell favoritism. Growing up, they were the center of every conversation, birthday, and group hug. I didn't mind much as a kid. But as an adult? Getting excluded from family vacations like I'm a weird coworker they forgot to CC on a meeting invite? That stings. The first time they forgot me, it was a ski trip to Colorado. Supposedly a spontaneous thing they threw together last minute. My mom swore it was just a weekend getaway. That weekend? 5 nights. Multiple flights. Instagram albums. The second time? Hawaii. "We thought you were busy with work," Rachel said. She never asked. Third time was Florida. "You hate humidity," Michelle joked, like that explained why no one bothered to invite me to a beach house paid for with Dad's credit card. This time? They were in Italy. Italy. And you know how I found out? A photo. Rachel posted a selfie in front of the Colosseum with the caption, "Family trip. Italy. Family. Right." I stared at that word for a while. I'll be real with you, I wasn't angry at first. I was just numb. The kind of hurt that doesn't even sting, just spreads quietly through your chest like smoke in an empty room. No one had texted me. No one had mentioned a thing. And now they were halfway across the world living their best pasta-filled lives while I sat at home eating leftover takeout in basketball shorts. I scrolled through the group chat again, just to be sure. Yup. Nothing. No invite. No explanation. Just Michelle sending a photo of some fancy wine with "This place is unreal," and my mom reacting with 5 heart emojis. Like I didn't even exist. So I did what any normal, well-adjusted adult man would do in that situation. I brewed a cup of coffee, opened my laptop, and booked a trip. Not just a trip. The trip. If they were gonna vacation without me? Fine. I'd take a solo adventure that made theirs look like a discount Groupon package. And I already knew the destination, somewhere they never considered. Somewhere they'd wish they had invited me to. I cracked my knuckles, checked my PTO balance, and started hunting flights like Liam Neeson tracking down kidnappers. 12 hours later, I had it all. Tickets, hotel, excursions. I even sprang for the room with a private plunge pool and the fancy outdoor shower situation, you know, the one that's basically a tropical thirst trap. All I had to do now? Pack my bags, and wait. Because I wasn't just gonna enjoy this trip. I was gonna document every moment. And when the timing was right? Oh. I'd post the photos. And that family group chat? It was about to blow up. I hit confirm booking with a level of satisfaction that could power a small city. My screen lit up, "Congratulations, your trip to Bora Bora is confirmed. Take that, Spaghetti Squad." While my family was fawning over ancient ruins and sipping overpriced espresso, I was headed for a floating bungalow in the middle of turquoise water so blue it looked photoshopped. You ever seen those glass floor huts with hammocks that dangle over the ocean like you're living in a travel influencer's Instagram story? Yeah. That. This wasn't just a trip. It was a message, no, a statement. I was done waiting for someone else to make room for me. If they wouldn't include me in the family, I'd just start my own damn highlight reel. But first, I needed gear. I hadn't taken a real vacation in 2 years. My beach wardrobe was stuck in Target clearance rack mode. So I hit the mall like I was prepping for a photo shoot. Swim trunks? Check. Ridiculously unnecessary straw hat? Absolutely. Flip-flops that cost more than my electric bill? Let's go. I even picked up one of those compact drone cameras. My credit card cried a little, but I reminded it, this wasn't just a vacation. This was payback. I spent the next 2 days prepping everything. I cleared my work calendar, set up my out-of-office reply, and double-checked the weather forecast like I was planning a heist. Sunshine, all week. Perfect. The night before my flight, I opened the group chat again. Rachel had just posted a video from Venice, a gondola ride, complete with a guy singing off-key in the background. The caption? Best family ever, can't imagine this trip without you guys. Yeah, Rachel. I bet you can't. And you know what? I didn't even get mad this time. I just smiled. My Uber pulled up at 5:15 a.m. I threw my bag in the trunk, slipped on my shades, the really obnoxious mirrored ones, and rode to the airport like I was headed to an awards show. No delays, no lost ticket, no oops we thought you were busy. Just me, my carry-on, and the smooth buzz of silent revenge. 12 hours later, I was stepping off a boat into what looked like a desktop wallpaper. Palm trees swayed like they were on contract. The water? So clear you could see fish giving you side-eye from 20 feet away. I was greeted with a flower lei, a welcome drink, and a staff member named Toma who led me to my suite with a golf cart. I kid you not, my bungalow had a ladder that went straight into the ocean. I dropped my bag, pulled out my phone, and took my first photo. Nothing fancy. Just me on the deck, drink in hand, toes in the pool, with a caption that read, "Accidentally landed in paradise." Oops. No tags. No names. Just posted it to my story and watched the views tick up. My sisters were both on the list. So was my mom. Dad didn't have Instagram, but trust me, he'd hear about it soon. I kicked back on the lounge chair, watching the sun sink into the ocean like it knew it was being watched. Oh, it was on. Tomorrow, I'd take the jet ski tour. Day after that? Snorkeling with stingrays. And after that? Photo drop. But first, I poured another drink, turned my phone to silent, and let the waves do their thing. Because while they were off playing Perfect Family, I was finally doing what I should have done a long time ago. Living my own story. I woke up to 12 unread messages, and the first one wasn't even subtle. Hey, where exactly are you right now? Rachel. Ah, there it was. The scent of confusion. Mixed with just a dash of panic. Guess my post hit the group chat harder than I expected. Last night I had uploaded a short video, 30 seconds of pure vacation glory. Me gliding across crystal clear water on a jet ski, laughing like a guy with no enemies. Behind me? Sunset exploding in every shade of orange. Soundtrack? That one perfect tropical house track that makes you feel like a millionaire even if your bank account's screaming otherwise. The caption? When life forgets to invite you, so you RSVP yourself. Not even 3 minutes after I posted it, Michelle reacted with the eyeball emoji. Classic. No words. Just eyes. Watching. Then came the typing bubbles. I didn't open the chat right away. I wanted to enjoy my breakfast, papaya, pineapple, and a croissant that tasted like it went to private school. But now? Now it was time to read the fallout. Rachel, where exactly are you right now? Michelle, wait. Are you on a trip? Mom, that's a beautiful beach. Who are you there with? Oh wow. Look at that. Concern. Interest. Suddenly I existed again. I took a sip of my coffee, and I mean real coffee, the kind that makes your usual office brew taste like hot mud, then typed back. Me, just a solo thing. Had some extra PTO. Keep it casual. Keep it chill. Make them wonder. Rachel responded first. Looks expensive LOL. LOL. Nothing says, I'm furious, like an LOL with a side of passive aggression. But it was Michelle who couldn't hold back. So you planned a vacation, the same week as ours? There it was. Not the, we miss you, or, wish you were with us. Just that, the real fear that this trip wasn't about peace and quiet, but about optics. I left them on read. Not out of pettiness, okay, maybe a little, but mostly because I had an appointment, with a stingray. Snorkeling was wild. I mean, these creatures were gliding right beneath me, like underwater UFOs. I swam beside a sea turtle, waved at a clownfish, and had a full-blown moment of emotional clarity while floating in silence beneath the sun. And yet, even underwater, I knew that group chat was boiling over. Back on land, I checked my phone. 20 new messages. A few from my mom, mostly the usual guilt-sprinkled comments like, "You should have told us you needed a break." Needed a break? I needed a family. But hey, At least now they were paying attention. I spent the evening on my deck with a drink in one hand and my phone in the other. Decided to drop one more story. This time, a boomerang of me cheers and my own reflection in the glass sliding door. The caption? Cheers to the invite that didn't get lost in the mail. I didn't even check the reactions. Instead, I slid my phone across the table, leaned back, and let the ocean wind do its thing. I wasn't done yet. Tomorrow was photo dump day. And that, my friend, was when the real explosion would hit the group chat. The second I hit post, I knew it was over. Not the vacation. Not the peace. The illusion. For years, my family treated me like a background character in their highlight reel. Someone to exclude, to forget, to brush off with a lazy excuse and a smile that said, "You understand, right?" Yeah. I understood. And now, finally, they would too. The photo drop wasn't dramatic, not at first glance. Just 6 perfectly curated shots from the trip. Slide 1, me on the bungalow deck at sunrise, coffee in hand, the ocean glowing like it was lit from underneath. Slide 2, the jet ski, midair. Caught the exact moment I'd launched over a wave like a guy in a Red Bull commercial. Slide 3, dinner on the beach, table for one, lit by string lights. Lobster, grilled pineapple, a drink so fancy it looked like it should have come with a tax bracket. Slide 4, me, waist deep in the water next to a stingray, grinning like I hadn't missed anyone in years. Slide 5, a simple text overlay on a blank background. Black letters, white space. When you get left out for the 4th time, you stop waiting for the invite. Slide 6, a selfie. Me in sunglasses, relaxed, smiling. Not bitter. Not angry. Unbothered. Within 10 seconds, my phone started vibrating. I ignored it. By 30 seconds? Explosions. I muted the family group chat and went swimming. When I came back 30 minutes later and finally opened the thread? Nuclear. Rachel, WTF is this supposed to mean? Michelle, are you seriously trying to make us look bad? Mom, Josh, this is not okay. You're airing family stuff online for strangers to see. Rachel again, so now you're the victim? Give me a break. Dad, can we please talk about this off the internet? The irony? None of them had talked to me on the internet until that moment. Now they were flooding it. My post had already racked up over 600 likes and was being reshared by a few mutuals. Friends I hadn't heard from in months were commenting things like, "Wow, this is a power move. They played around and found out. That caption says everything." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. They were spiraling, and I was still in a robe with sea salt in my hair and zero stress on my shoulders. Then came the follow-ups. Michelle DM'd me directly, "You could have just told us you were upset." Told them? Like I hadn't already, 4 times, for separate years? Rachel tried the guilt card. Do you have any idea how this makes Mom look? Sure do. It makes her look like someone who let her adult son be excluded from 4 family trips without ever once stopping to ask, why? Even my mom sent one of those long paragraphs, the kind that starts with, "I love you," but, and ends with absolutely no accountability. I left them all on read. Later that night, I ordered room service, watched the sun dip behind the lagoon, and toasted to the one person who actually showed up for me. Me. Was I being petty? Maybe. But I wasn't being silent anymore. And the thing about silence is, when it finally breaks, people tend to hear it loud and clear. My phone rang. Not a ping. Not a vibration. A full-volume call from Mom. Now, she only calls when someone dies or something's on fire, and judging by the sound of her voice when I picked up, this was the emotional equivalent of both. "Josh," she started, and I could already hear it, the sniffle, the trembling breath, the opening act of the guilt performance. "Why would you do this to us? No hello. No how are you. Just straight to the show." "I didn't do anything to you," I said, calm as ever. "I just posted pictures." "You know what I mean," she said. "You made us look like monsters." I didn't say anything. I let the silence sit there. It made her squirm. "People are talking," she added. "My sister called and said the whole thing's getting passed around the family chat. Your cousins saw it. Aunt Lee thinks I disowned you." That part almost made me laugh. Because honestly, it hadn't felt far off. Then she dropped the classic line. I just wish you'd come to us directly. And there it was, the imaginary route they'd always pretended existed. The one where I knock gently on their emotional front door and politely request inclusion like I'm applying for a loan. I replied, I did come to you. 4 times. 4 trips. 4 chances. Silence. Then came the real reason for the call. Take the post down. I didn't even blink. No. Josh, if you care at all about this family, you'll take it down. And just like that, I realized something. This wasn't about what they did. It was about how I reacted. They didn't care that they'd hurt me. They cared that other people knew. When I didn't answer, she pivoted. Do you want to come to Christmas or not? I exhaled slowly. Are you inviting me this time? Or am I supposed to just guess like usual? Another silence. Then she whispered, Rachel's not speaking to me. That part genuinely surprised me. I opened Instagram while she was still on the phone and checked Rachel's page. Her newest post had the comments turned off. Damage control. The golden girl had lost control of the narrative, and she was not taking it well. Michelle, on the other hand, had gone nuclear. She texted me directly. You've made your point. Hope it was worth it. You've embarrassed Mom. For what? Some attention? You're such a child. Then, the cherry on top. Don't bother coming to Christmas. Seriously. There it was. The invitation I didn't even want, being revoked. And I didn't feel hurt. I felt free. I spent the rest of the night swimming in the warm lagoon water under the stars. The air was quiet. My mind was quieter. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I had nothing left to explain. They'd made their choice. I just finally stopped covering for it. As I climbed out of the water and grabbed a towel, my phone lit up one more time. A message from my dad. Simple. Plain. Just 5 words. Call me when you can. I stared at the screen. That one? I'd actually consider answering. Josh. I saw the post. That's how my dad started the call. No preamble, no scolding, no guilt trip. Just 6 words that carried more weight than anything my mom or sisters had thrown at me all week. He was quiet for a second. I could hear wind in the background, maybe from a balcony, maybe from a place he went to get away from the others. Didn't think you'd actually do it, he said. I leaned against the rail of my own balcony in Bora Bora, towel around my neck, drink in hand, ocean behind me. Do what? Call us out. I didn't respond right away. I didn't need to. He already knew. He exhaled, long, tired. The kind of sigh you let out when the weight of pretending finally crushes your spine. Can I tell you something? He asked. Just between us? Now, that caught my attention. My dad's never been the between us type. He's the family diplomat. The fence sitter. The guy who shrugs instead of speaks. Sure, I said. He lowered his voice. Last year, before that Florida trip, I told your mother you should come. I said it plain, Josh should be there. Know what she said? What? She said you were too busy. That you always say no anyway. That it'd be awkward. He paused. I didn't fight it. That's on me. I didn't say anything. I thought maybe she was right, he continued. But then when I saw that post this week, when I saw how happy you looked, it hit me. You weren't too busy. You were just tired of being forgotten. That line, I'll be honest, almost cracked me. Because yeah, I was tired. Not angry. Not bitter. Just, worn down from being treated like an extra in my own family story. But then he hit me with something I never saw coming. There's more, he said. Something you don't know. That's when my stomach tensed up. What is it? That ski trip they forgot to invite you on, the first one? That wasn't spontaneous like your mom said. Rachel planned it 6 months in advance. She used your old miles. From your airline account. I froze. Wait, what? Back when you lived at home, she had your login saved on Mom's computer. She transferred the miles and booked everyone but you. Dad. Are you serious? I didn't know until after the fact. I figured, maybe it was a mistake. But now? Now he sounded tired again. I think she didn't want you there. None of them did. You don't play the game. And there it was. The game. The game where Rachel gets center stage, Michelle plays backup, Mom runs PR, and Dad just keeps the peace. But me? I broke the script. I left town. Got my own place. My own job. My own life. And they hated it. Why are you telling me this now? I asked him. Because, he said, you're not crazy. You were never imagining it. They iced you out. And I didn't stop it. I could hear his voice breaking now, not into tears, but regret. You deserved better. That's all. For a minute, I didn't know what to say. All the energy I had for comebacks, for sarcasm, for biting one-liners, it just drained out. Thanks, I finally said. That means more than you think. Before we hung up, he asked one last thing. You coming home for Christmas? I laughed, not to mock him, but because it was a real question now, not a trap. Only if I get an invite this time. He chuckled. You've got mine. No strings. And for the first time in years, I believed him. The second I walked into my parents' house, I knew it was a setup. Not a surprise party. Not an awkward welcome-back dinner. A trap. Michelle was already at the table, arms crossed, face locked into her trademark judgmental squint. Rachel? Leaning against the wall, fake casual, but eyes locked on me like she was waiting for me to detonate. And my mom? She stood by the kitchen counter, wine glass in hand, giving me the same look she used to give Dad when he'd forget to take out the trash, tight-lipped, low-key boiling. I thought this was just lunch, I said, dropping my overnight bag by the door. It is, Michelle said. But we figured it's time we cleared the air. Rachel chimed in. Yeah. Because this whole online pity parade of yours? It's getting out of hand. Ah. So that's what this was. An ambush disguised as reconciliation. I didn't sit. I stayed standing, taller, grounded, unbothered. You want to talk about the post? I asked. My mom jumped in before anyone else could. Josh, what you did, putting our business out there for the internet, it hurt people. Not as much as being cut out of your life for 4 years, I shot back. Michelle scoffed. Cut out? You could have called. You always disappear. We thought you didn't want to be part of things. You're unbelievable, I said. You planned multiple family vacations, never once mentioned them to me, and now I'm supposed to apologize because I took some photos? Rachel finally snapped. You made us look like bullies. Like we're evil or something. If the shoe fits, I said. That's when it all unraveled. Michelle, you know what your problem is, Josh? You've always had this poor me complex. Like you're some kind of underdog. Rachel, seriously. You always needed everything to be about you. That post? That wasn't about a vacation. That was about attention. Mom, girls, calm down. Rachel, no. I'm done pretending he's a victim. You've always enabled this, Mom. Every time he flakes, every time he bails, you just let it slide. I took a step forward. Calm, steady. Looked Rachel dead in the eye. You really want to talk about who needed attention? You hijacked my airline miles. Lied about spontaneous trips. Had a whole vacation planned 6 months out and didn't even tell your own brother. Rachel blinked. Yeah. Dad told me. And based on her face? He hadn't told her that he told me. Wow, she said, voice suddenly low. So Dad's throwing us under the bus now too? Michelle stood up. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't come to Christmas. I nodded. I figured that was coming. My mom reached for my arm, her voice soft again. Josh, please. But I shook her off. Not violently. Not even angrily. Just, done. I came back because Dad asked. I gave you a chance to act like a real family. Instead, I walked into a tribunal. And then I said the quiet part out loud. None of you were mad when I was excluded. You only got mad when people noticed. No one spoke. I grabbed my bag and turned toward the door. Tell Dad thanks for lunch, I said. And for finally being honest. I walked out before they could answer. Stepped outside into the cold air, chest pounding, not from rage. From release. Because I wasn't coming back for a while. And for the first time in my entire life, that felt like freedom. 3 days after I walked out of that ambush at my parents' house, my doorbell rang, and there was Dad. No text. No warning. Just him, standing in the hallway of my apartment building, holding a manila folder like it contained state secrets. He looked nervous. Not anxious, deliberate. Like he was here to do something that had been years in the making. "Got a minute?" he asked. I stepped aside and let him in. He sat at my kitchen table, looked around like he was seeing my life for the first time. Photos on the wall. Stacks of books. Actual peace. "This place suits you," he said. "Thanks," I replied. "Didn't think you were coming by to critique my decor." He gave a small laugh. Then got serious. "I need to show you something," he said, setting the folder on the table. "Been meaning to give you this for a while." Inside were printed emails. Screenshots. Flight confirmations. Even a calendar invite from 2 years ago, one that had all their names on it, except mine. "I started keeping track," he said. "Not on purpose at first. Just noticed the pattern. Then it got too hard to ignore." I flipped through the pages, my stomach tightening. Email from Rachel to Mom: "Let's not tell Josh yet. He always complicates things." Text from Michelle: "If he finds out, we'll just say it was last minute. What's he gonna do, cry about it online?" Even my mom had weighed in. "Josh always says no anyway. Don't push it." They didn't forget me. They excluded me, on purpose. I looked up. "Why are you showing me this now?" Dad leaned back. His eyes looked heavier than usual. "Because I watched you take the high road for years. Kept your mouth shut. Gave them the benefit of the doubt. And when you finally spoke up, when you finally said enough, they treated you like the villain." He tapped the folder. "This proves it wasn't in your head. You were right." I swallowed hard. "Why did you go along with it?" He didn't answer right away. Just stared at the table like the guilt lived there. "I didn't want to rock the boat," he said. "I thought staying neutral was the same as staying fair. But silence, it's not neutral. It's protection for the loudest people in the room." He looked at me, and his voice dropped to a level I'd never heard from him before. "You don't owe them silence anymore." We sat in quiet for a moment. Then he added, "I think it's time you took the next step." I raised an eyebrow. "What step?" He pulled out a second folder. This one was thin. Just a single document. "I added you to the family trust," he said. "I'm making it official. Equal stake. Regardless of what they say, or do, or post." I blinked. "You're serious?" As a heart attack. I should have done it years ago. I stared at the document, his signature already on it, and something shifted inside me. Not power. Not pride. Validation. For the first time in my life, someone in my family stood up and said, "You belong here, too." He stood to leave. Before he walked out, he said, "You can still come to Christmas. But only if you want to. Not because you feel guilt into it." I nodded. "Thanks, Dad." He turned at the door. "I'll bring the ham." And then he was gone. I looked down at the folder. At the emails. At the proof. At the paper that finally gave me a seat at the table. And I realized something. They made me the outsider. But now? Now I got to decide what kind of family I wanted to build for myself. At exactly 2:14 a.m., Rachel texted me. Not a meme. Not a passive-aggressive dig. Not a vague story tag meant to bait a reaction. Just a plain, 4-line message that hit me harder than I expected. "I know I messed up. I've been thinking about it non-stop. I should have been a better sister. But it's probably too late now." For a full minute, I just stared at the screen. Rachel. The same sister who'd led the charge in excluding me from 4 vacations. The one who hijacked my airline miles like it was nothing. The one who, days ago, told me I had a victim complex. Now she was texting me at 2 in the morning like a girl who couldn't sleep. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I scrolled up and reread every fight, every moment she dismissed me, every time she claimed I was being too sensitive. My gut told me this was either a trap, or the beginning of something real. I typed back, slowly. "Why now?" She responded instantly. "Because Dad came to my apartment today." Okay. That explained the timing. What did he say? That you had all the proof. That he gave it to you. That we left you out and you were right to call it out. I blinked. Dad really was hitting everyone with the truth tour this week. And? I sent. Rachel paused. 3 dots. Then nothing. Then came the next message, one long paragraph that read like a confession and a resignation letter rolled into one. I don't think I ever saw you as an actual adult. You were always just the kid in the family, and when you started doing your own thing, it felt like you were rejecting us. So I shut you out before you could shut me out. Michelle and I thought we were protecting the vibe or whatever. But really, we were just being petty. And when your post blew up, I didn't care that you were hurt, I cared that we looked bad. That's on me. I took a deep breath. So what now? Another pause. I don't know. I'm not expecting you to forgive me. I just wanted you to hear it from me first. That line felt important, from me first. Maybe she knew Michelle wouldn't reach out. Maybe she didn't want me hearing apologies through Dad or Mom or someone else trying to patch the cracks. And then, the unexpected. I miss you. Not the family version. You. The one who used to make dumb jokes during movie night. The one who used to take the heat for stuff I did. I don't deserve a second chance. But I'd show up for one, if you offered. I stared at that last message for a long time. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't even defensive. I was just tired of losing people without ever really confronting why. I didn't text back right away. I needed time. But I didn't block her. I didn't ghost her. I just let the message sit there. Because growth is loud when it's online, but quiet when it's real. And whether she meant it or not, this felt like a start. The next morning, I talked to my dad. Told him what she said. He didn't sound shocked. She's been different lately, he said. First time in years I've seen her take accountability for anything. Do you think she means it? I asked. He paused. I think she's finally scared of losing something that matters. And yeah, maybe it was too late for things to ever be normal again. Maybe the damage was too deep. But I also knew something else. Forgiveness doesn't have to mean reunion. Sometimes it's just letting go of the weight. And maybe, just maybe, making space for whatever comes next. I wasn't supposed to be there. Michelle had said it straight up, don't bother coming to Christmas. And yet, there I was. Standing on the front porch of my childhood home, holding a wrapped bottle of wine, and listening to the muffled hum of holiday music from inside. My heart was racing like I was about to do something illegal. Technically, just showing up wasn't illegal. But emotionally, this was trespassing. I rang the doorbell. Footsteps. Then silence. Then the door opened, and there was my mom. She blinked twice, like she couldn't process what was in front of her. Josh, she breathed. Merry Christmas, I said. She didn't hug me. But she didn't close the door either. Small win. I didn't know you were coming, she said. Pretty sure that's how you guys like it. That earned me a look, the kind that could curdle milk, but she stepped aside. I walked into the living room like I was stepping into enemy territory. The fireplace was on. Bing Crosby was doing his thing. And the energy? Tense enough to slice with a butter knife. Rachel was sitting on the couch, hands in her lap, eyes flicking to the floor the second she saw me. Michelle stood by the tree, hanging an ornament that definitely didn't need to be rehung. Dad was in the kitchen, carving ham with the precision of a surgeon trying not to look up. I didn't say anything. I just walked over to the couch, set the wine bottle on the coffee table, and sat down across from Rachel. Hi, I said. She looked up. Hi. Nothing else. Michelle didn't say a word. Not even a glance. Just tightened her grip on a candy cane ornament and walked out of the room. Rachel leaned forward. Did you come because of the text? Partly. And partly. Because I wanted to see what it felt like to show up without being invited. She winced. I deserve that, she said. Maybe more. Maybe. But I didn't press. Dad finally walked in, holding a plate. Figured you'd want first cut. I took the plate. Thanks. And for the next hour, no one yelled. No one accused. No one even brought up the post, or the group chat, or Bora Bora. It was like the entire family agreed, without saying it, to hit pause. But nothing felt fixed. It just felt suspended. At one point, Rachel handed me a gift bag. I didn't know if you'd come, she said. But, if you did. I wanted you to have something. Inside was a framed photo. One of the only decent ones from when we were kids. The three of us in Halloween costumes, me in a Batman suit 3 sizes too big, Rachel as a witch, Michelle as a tired-looking cat. It was, weirdly touching. Not a bribe. Not a guilt offering. Just a reminder that once, a long time ago, we were something close to whole. I nodded. Thanks. She opened her mouth to say something else, maybe the thing that would have made this day mean something, but then the front door opened. A gust of wind. Footsteps. Michelle walked back in, but she wasn't alone. Behind her? Someone I hadn't seen in years. Someone who had nothing to do with Christmas, or family drama, or group chats. And the second I saw them, my stomach dropped. Because they were the one person I never expected to walk through that door.